Hi guys, I'm Mirko and welcome. If we know each other, that's great to meet you again. Otherwise, feel free to search for me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and feel free to drop a hi. What we're going to do today, we will do a Flutter Codelab. What are Codelabs? Basically, they are official tutorials made by the Flutter team. So they are pretty amazing. How to reach this page? Obviously, you can use the link that I will for sure leave in the description, or just go on Google Flutter, or you can go to Codelabs or click the first link that it appears. This is the main page of Flutter, and here you have on the right this Get Started button. So let's press it. And here we have our Codelabs. Here on the left side panel, search for Codelabs and samples, Codelabs, and here we are. So this is my very first video on this kind of topics, so I hope it will be pretty straightforward, but I'm definitely not sure. Actually, for sure something will go wrong. So let's see what happens. This is a first experience for both of us. Since this is the first video, I guess I will go for your first Flutter app. I didn't pick the first one because, as you can see, it's a workshop, and workshop means that there is yet another YouTube video, in this case made by Philip. That's wonderful. So go for it because he is amazing. All right, so I think this will be pretty straightforward. Well, actually, I hope this will be easy for you to keep along with me, because I will be the one reading the text. So for sure, for you it should be easier to follow with me. Furthermore, these are Codelabs that I didn't do by myself, so you may have, so for sure there will be some issues. We will not go directly straight to the solution. We will maybe do some missteps, but let's see what happens. So I zoomed in a little bit and let's start. Create a project. Create your first Flutter project. Launch Visual Studio Code, open the command palette, and new project, Flutter new, and let's name your project. Something like name your app or my ozone namer. Let's go for this, name your app. I hope you still see everything. So let's new Flutter project. That's an application. The application, I have a lot of stuff. Let's go for a new folder. YouTube, new folder, Codelabs, and here. So the name will be Namer App, and we are ready to go. I trust the authors. Yes, I trust the authors. And here is creating our application, as you can see. Copy and paste. What's copy and paste? May I select it, pubspec.yaml. Alright, so we have replaced the contents of this file with the following one. Also, they choose the Namer app. So we will go to our pubspec.yaml file and we will copy this one. So copy this, close. Let's see if it is working. So main run. For the moment we will use macOS. Let's also zoom this a bit. I hope you will see. This is too much for me. This is maybe the best for both of us. So here it is starting the macOS. Meanwhile, it starts. Let's see what else do we have to do. So we have to add the dependencies. The pubspec.yaml file specifies basic information about your app, such as its current version, its dependencies, and the assets with which it will ship. So this is basically super important. Note if you gave your app another name, you need to change the first line correspondingly. This one, name. Let's go on. Next, open another configuration file in the project, analysis.options file, analysisoption.yaml. Replace its content with the following. What's here? Oh, linter, rules, avoid print. Okay, this is interesting. Prefer const, unnecessary breaks. Okay, let's see what we got. Here it's still running. Wow. All right, so meanwhile, let's copy this and let's put it into pubspec.yaml. Name our app. You can see that this is the same. And let's, oh, it is starting. Because additional tool for debugging, open. All right, so this is the classical counter app, and it's working. Great. Now, this is what it's written in the tutorial. So basically, we are adding English word and provider also. This will be useful for the state. Let's see what others do we have. Analysis options. Analysis option. Normally we don't have anything. We have the linter, obviously. Let's go for that. Boom. All right, and there we have it. What is analysis options? This file determines how strict Flutter should be when analyzing your code. So it's pretty useful. Since this is your first foray into Flutter, you're telling the analyzer to take it easy. You can always tune these later. In fact, as you get closer to publishing an actual production app, you will mostly certainly want to make the analyzer stricter than this. Finally, open the main.dart, amazing, under that directory. Replace the contents of this file with the following. So also here we have to replace something. But why we are so far? We are directly into create project. Sorry guys, I skipped the introduction. The introduction basically is the Codelab that explains you what is this tutorial. So basically we are going to create the names, a generator of names with the next button and the favorite one. We will start from this side and we will create something cool. There is also a video, I didn't saw it, but it's Philip teaching us something, so that's great. Set up your Flutter environment. So here they're telling you that you have to download whatever you like, possibly Visual Studio Code. That's something I prefer. This application can run basically on any target. I will use the one on my machine, that is macOS. You have to install the Flutter SDK, blah, blah, blah. And here we are where we were previously. So let's jump into the game. Main.dart. Okay, so replace the content of the main.dart with this code. Let's copy, let's paste, and then let's analyze it. So boom, boom, boom. Save. Do we still have our app running? that's launching. All right. These 50 lines of code are entirely the app so far. This Codelab is racing ahead to a point where you can start interactively changing the app, because that's the best way to learn Flutter. If you're open anyway. If you're missing, here we are, our app name. If you're missing some code, if you're missing an explanation of the code, be patient, it's coming. Okay, so we don't have to go line by line. That's this Codelab that teaches us what we need. In the next section, the run application debug mode and start developing. All right, so that's our namer app. Actually, we have a random name idea. That's mean gang. Mean gang. Okay. Next, what do we have next? So now we're adding a button. I'm not going into the main.dart file because it says that the Codelab will teach us that. Let's see what happens. Add the button. This step adds next button to generate a new word pairing. Launch it up, we have it. And make sure that you have your target device selected. We have it. We have here, that is Mac OS down there. Down there you can see Mac OS. Otherwise you can select other target devices. At the bottom right corner, obviously, you will find a button that shows the target device. That here probably is showing you what we will do. While the main.dart is open, click the play button. That is what we did previously. So we opened the main.dart here and we pressed the play button. So that's what we did to launch the namer app. After about 1 minute, your app launches in debug mode. It doesn't look much yet. It's just random. A couple of lines. If your development target is a mobile device, it's possible that the text is partially obscured by the notch or the status bar. You'll learn how to fix this soon. So let's wait. First, hot reload. At the bottom of lib.main.dart, add something to the string in the first text object and save the file, Ctrl+S or Command+S. So example of change, a random awesome idea. Let's do that. So let's see, namer, blah, 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 at the random idea. So I do something like this. So I changed, that's awesome. And if I Ctrl+S, now we have an awesome idea. Great. I love this feature. Hot reload is wonderful. Notice how the app changes immediately, but the random word stays the same. This is Flutter's famous stateful hot reload at work. Hot reload is triggered when you save changes to a source file. You know what? I will shrink this. Okay, great. Frequently asked the question, and those are Stack Overflow ask the question. So adding a button. Next, add a button at the bottom of the column, right below the second text instance. So basically, I love that they make this kind of comments. They are pretty straightforward to understand. So we want to create an elevated button, that's basically a button, when with the on pressed, print button pressed, child text. This is what is displayed in the button. So let's take it and let's put it here. So scaffold column, and here we want to do that inside the column. So here we are. There it is. Next. Basically, what's doing it's printing So it should be here, button pressed, here it is. When you save, the app updates again, a button appears, and when you click it in the debug console in VS Code, it shows button pressed message. That's what we saw together. So a Flutter crash course in just 5 minutes. Let's see what they tell us. As much fun as it is to watch the debug console, you want the button to do something more meaningful, probably. Before getting to that, though, take a closer look at the code inside. Oh, great, now they explain us what's written inside the main.dart file to understand how it works. Main.dart, so main run app. At the very top of the file, you will find the main function. In its current form, only tells Flutter to run the app defined inside my app. And there it is. Void main run app my app. That is this one, literally below that. It can be everywhere. Main my app, here it is. Let's see what they tell us. The my app class extends stateless widget. Widgets are elements from which you can build every Flutter app. As you can see, even the app itself is a widget. We'll get to the explanation of stateless versus stateful widget later. So what do we have? We have a change notify provider, create my app state. Okay, so they used, as we saw previously in the pubspec.yaml file, among the dependencies, that we will for sure use providers to handle the states of this app. If you don't know what they are, we will go that inside this tutorial. Change notify provider, create context my app state. This is a stateless widget. Child material app, team data, and my homepage. So basically that's the scaffolding of the app. The code inside my app sets up the whole app. It creates the app-wide state, more on this later, names of the app, defines the visual theme. The visual theme is here. This is the name, the title in this case. And sets the home widget as a starting point. Here it is, home, my home page. Most of the time we will use a material app. So this is basically a lot of 90% of the roots of the widget root that you will have in your normal app. If you're doing something exotic, you will have exotic widgets. But for the moment, we will go for that. All right, so what do we have as a home? As a home, we have my app state that extends the change notifier, and it has a var current work page random. This is something I don't love. I prefer strong typed code. Here they use the var. Let's see what do we have. Next, my app states defines the app's state, my app state, and actually here it is, my app state. What I was saying is that I would like to have, all right, this is a factory of work payers, so probably what we can do is something like this, yeah. Payer. Yeah, this is how I like my code, because when I look at this, I want to know exactly what I get from this. You can see it here, word payer. Anyway, we got var. Let's leave for the moment var, and let's see what happens. So we were saying that we are defining our app state. This is your first foray into Flutter, so this Codelab will keep it simple and focused. There are many powerful ways to manage the app state in the Flutter. One of the easiest way to explain is change notifier. It's super easy, that one. The approach taken by this app. My app state defines the data that the app needs to function. Right now, it only contains a single variable with the current random word pair. You will add to this later. The state class extends change notifier, as we saw here. Change notifier, my app state extends change notifier, which means that it can notify others about its own changes. For example, if the current word pair changes, some widgets in the app need to know that. The state is created and provided to the whole app using the change notifier provider. See code above in my app. This allows the widget in the app to get hold of the state. So here we have the change notifier, my app state, which is able to notify others, and change notifier provider is what is able to provide the received state to the others, to basically the child in this case. So basically, this is what we say. Other widgets, some widget, my home page, my app state. All right. So what do we have here? 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, we have lines. So they are explaining us everything. Lastly, there is my home page, the widget you have already modified. Each number line below maps to a line number. Comment in the code above. So every widget defines a build. Here we have it. Method that's automatically called every time the widget circumstances change, so that the widget is always up to date. My home page tracks changes. Here it is, this one. My homepage track changes to the app's current state using the watch method, context.watch, and then we have our change notifier. Here it is. Every build method must return a widget, or more typically a nested triad widget. In this case, the top level of widget is a scaffold that most of the time we will use. You aren't going to work with scaffold in this Codelab, but it's a helpful widget and it's found in the vast majority of real-world Flutter app. That's a scaffold. Column. This is the most basic layout of widgets in Flutter. It takes any number of children and puts them in a column drop-down. By default, the column usually places its children at the top. You'll soon change this so the column is centered. You change this text. We're talking about this one. The second text, this is more interesting. Upstate, this one, current as lowercase. The second text widget takes upstate and accesses the only member of that class, current. So this is a class, the only member is current. Which is a word pair. Word pair provides several helpful getters such as spell case, as name case, and so on. Here we use as lowercase, but you can change these if you prefer alternatives. Notice how Flutter code makes heavy use of trailing commas. Dot, 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 dot. Sorry. I'm melting. My brain is melting. Commas. These ones. Here they are. Notice how Flutter code makes heavy use of trailing commas. This particular comma doesn't need to be here because children, we're talking about 7, this one for example, because children is the last and also only member of this particular column, parameter list. Yet it is generally a good idea to use trailing commas, so they make adding more member trivial, and they also formats that. That's a hint for Darts how to format or how to put a new line there. But we can see interesting comments, so they were talking about this. If we can remove it, it doesn't do anything, but it removes the auto-formatting. If we put it back and we save, it auto-formats itself. Those are super interesting instead, because here we have a list, and inside the list we have several number of elements. If we remove obviously one of these commas, we have problems. So we take it back. Your first behavior. Scroll to my app state and add a get next method. So let's add this one. So getNext is a method which takes current and assigns it a new random word, notify listener. This is super important. The next getStep method reassigns the current variable, and it also calls notify listener, a method of change notifier that ensures that anyone watching my app state is notifying. All that remains to call is the getNext method from the button's callback. So we will do this one. So the button that we added, this one. So we say app state dot get next. App state is this variable. Ctrl S. Save and try the app now. It should generate a new and a word pair every time you press the next button. And it is working. That's awesome. Let's continue. You will make use. Let's make our interface prettier. So what's the name? The name is make the app prettier. We are in step 5. Make the app prettier. This is how the app looks at the moment. You're right. No, not great. The centerpiece of the app randomly generates a pair of words should be more visible. It is, after all, the main reason are using the app to generate new words. Also, the app contents are really off center, and the whole app is boringly black and white. This section addresses this issue by working on the app's design. Let's go to the app's design. Extract a widget. The line responsible for showing the current word pair looks like this now. Text, blah, 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 upstate current as lowercase. To change it into something more complex, it's a good idea to extract this line into a separate widget for sure. Having separate widgets for separate logical parts and UI part is an important way to managing complexity in Flutter. Flutter provides a refactoring helper for extracting widget, but before you use it, make sure that the line being extracted only accesses that if needs. Right now, the line accesses app state, but really only needs to know the current word pair. For this reason, let's rewrite my homepage widget as follows. So text pair as lowercase, and we want to add a pair. So pair comes here, and we will use it here. Let's remove this one, Ctrl S, and it's auto formatted. Nice. The text widget no longer refers to a whole app state. Now let's call up the refactor menu. In VS Code, you can do this in two ways. Right click on the piece of code you want to refactor, text in this case, and select refactor from the drop-down menu, or move your cursor to the piece of code you want to refactor, text in this case, press Command plus or Control plus. In the refactor menu, extract widget such as big card and click enter. So we want these. So they say right click, where is refactor? Here it is. Extract method, extract widget. Okay, now it's better. So right click, refactor, extract widget, and we said big card. Wonderful, here we are. Where pair, there it is. Notice how the app keeps working well. Okay, so yeah, Ctrl S and the app should work. The app works. Add a card. Now it's time to make this new widget into the bold piece of UI. Find the big card class and the build method within it. As before, call up the refactor menu text widget. However, this time I'm going to extract the widget. We want to wrap with padding. This creates a parent. Okay, so we want to add a padding. After saving, you will see the random word has more breathing room. So this one, Control dot, I pressed. Instead, they were saying Control plus. No, Command plus, it doesn't do anything. Zooms in. So Control dot. And we want to wrap with padding. So now we have some padding. Ctrl S, and now it has more space. This creates breathing room. Increase the padding from 8 to 20. Let's do that. 20. Flutter uses composition over inheritance whenever it can. Here, instead of padding being an attribute of text, it's a widget. This way, widgets can focus on their single responsibility. And you, the developer, have the total freedom in how to compose your UI. For example, you can use the padding widget to pad text, image, buttons, your own custom widgets to the whole app. The widget doesn't care what is wrapping. Next, go to one level higher. Place your cursor to the padding and put refactor, wrap read. These allow you to specify the widget, type card, and press enter. So this is how it should look like. So we go to padding and wrap with widget, and we want to add a card. Ctrl S. There it is. We have the card. Here it is. I don't know. That's there. Theme and style. Wonderful. I love theme and style. To make the card stand out more, paint it with a richer color. And because it's always a good idea to keep consistent color scheme, use the app's theme to choose the color. Make the following changes to the big card. So we want to add the theme.of context for sure. Let's go here and let's add the theme, and we want to assign the primary color to the card. Ctrl S. Do we have it? We have it. It's pretty solid. Let's say like that. This tool allows to do a lot of work. First, the code requests the app current theme with theme.of context. Then the code defines the card's color to be the same as the theme's color scheme property. The color scheme contains mainly colors. Primary is the most important, most prominent, defining the color of the app. That for sure. The card is now painted with the app's primary color. You can change this color and the color scheme of the whole app by scrolling to My App and changing color seed of your column. So we are talking here. So we go to My App, theme from seed, and we want this to be green. Ctrl S, now it is green. I can also type instead of saying these. Colors dot, okay. Something is wrong. Color, okay, there was the constant keyword before. All right, there it is. Alright, notice how the color animates smoothly. This is called implicit animation. Many Flutter widgets will smoothly interpolate between values so the UI doesn't jump within states. The elevated button below the card also changes. This is the power of using an app-wide theme as opposed to hard coding values. So you can see here there is this background that is greenish right now. Text theme. The card still has a problem, as we can tell. The text is too small and the color is hard to read. To fix this, make the following changes to the big card build. Okay, let's put back the previous color. Alright, now this is the previous color, and let's add the text theme. This one we want. Final style. Big card will use the style that is theme, text theme, display medium, copy width, and we want to use the color scheme on primary. By using text theme, you can access the app font theme. This class includes member such as but medium, caption, and headline large. The display medium property is a large style meant for display the text. The word display is used by typographic. The document blah blah blah. This is important. The theme's display medium property could theoretically be null. Dart, the programming language in which you are writing this app, is null safe, so it won't let you call methods on objects that are potentially nulls. In this case, though, you can use the bang operator to assure that Dart you know what you're doing. This display medium is definitely not null in this case. The reason we know is beyond the scope of this Codelab though, but for sure it's not null. And you can see bang operator. If I remove bang operator, I have a compiler problem. And what I love is that actually it recognizes that and it is telling you what's the issue. The method copy width can't be unconditionally invoked because of the receiver can be null. Try making the call conditional using or the question mark or adding the bang operator. Here we are. So the app should look something like this. Ctrl S. And now because we didn't apply the style, let's see how they apply the style. Okay, style. We want this one. Style. Ctrl S. What's happening? We have an issue. I added card. All right. Text, change this line. Style. and I want the style. I mistyped something. I don't know what I mistyped. Yeah, that's what we have. If you feel like it, change the card further. Copy with lets you change a lot more attributes. So let's see, we have elevation, we can experiment. This is yet a long one, so let's go pretty straightforward. But accessibility is really important. Flutter makes app accessible by default. For example, Flutter correctly surfaces text, interactive elements. Sometimes though, some work is required. In case of this app, the screen reader might have problem pronouncing some generated word pairs. While humans don't have problem identifying the two words in cheap head, a screen reader might pronounce them as chia fed. A simple solution is to replace pair as lowercase with pair first, pair second. That's really smart. The layer uses string interpolation to create a string such as cheap head from the two words contained in pair. Using two separate words instead of a compound word makes sure that the screen readers identify them properly, and it provides a better experience to visualize impaired users. However, you might want to keep the visual simplicity of pair as lowercase, and so let's use text's semantic label property to override the visual content of the text widget with a semantic context that is more appropriate. We have a widget tree and a semantic tree. I don't know if we will go through that in this Codelab, but that's hugely important. So make the following change. So we have the text, we have the pair, we have the style, but the semantic label will be this one. So text and semantics label will be pair first, pair second, although if we're using the connected word. That's really a smart move. Flutter has a variety tools for accessibility, including automatic tests and the semantics widget. Learn more on the Flutter documentation accessibility page. Let's enter the UI. All right, so you see that we have everything on the left. Let's center it. So basically, we have to change the column to main axis alignment. So we have this column, we have it here inside my home page, and can I collapse these and show you better these? I think it's better for everyone. Right, great. Let's give more space. All right, column, so column, main axis alignment, center. Ctrl S, here it is. So this is the main, because you know column is vertical, and it did the main axis alignment. So on the vertical. Rows, okay, we are not going inside rows in this moment. Vertical, okay, great. Children are already centered along their cross sides, but the column itself isn't centered inside the scaffold. Okay. The widget inspector itself beyond the scope of this Codelab, so we will not dive into that, but you can see that when the column is highlighted, it doesn't, okay, this is talking about the widget inspector. The app should now look something like the following. Alright, so it also added another center part. You can just center the column itself by putting the code on the column. Not now. Call the refactor and wrap with center. So they wrapped the column with a center widget. So command dot wrap with center. Ctrl S, And there it is, in the center. Okay, you can tweak, you can do whatever you want, you can change stuff, and with optional changes contains this code. My home page, unpress the app state. And the app looks like the following. So copy. This is my home page, and let's paste. So it's cleaner, and it still works. Next, what do we have? We have add functionality. Add functionality. The app works and occasionally even provides interesting word pairs. Whenever the user clicks next, each word pair disappears forever, and it would be better to have a way of remembering the best solutions, such as a like button. So let's introduce the like button. Add this code below. So we have a list of favorites inside the app state. So app state, let's add a list of favorites. Get next. Okay, so they put that below get next. I did these with option. I'm on Mac, so I did that with option and arrow. On Windows, probably it's alt and error, ALT, alternative. And we also add toggle favorite. So what's toggle favorite is? Favorites contains current, favorite removes, otherwise current notify listener. Okay, great. Okay, that's pretty easy. This one is interesting. Note, Dart has a collection types other than list, expressed with the brackets. You can argue that a set expressed within the curly bracket would make more sense for a collection of favorite. To make this Codelab as straightforward as possible, we're sticking with the list. But if you want, you can use a set instead. The code wouldn't change much. The set, as you know, can contain only one element. Lists can contain multiple element similar, sets not. So this is why they were saying that. You can also add a new method toggle favorite as we saw. Add the button. So what we want to do is adding a button. Oh, we have rows here. With the next business logic out of the way, it's time to work again on the interface. Placing the like button on the left of the next button requires a row. Row widget is the horizontal equivalent of columns. First, wrap the existing button in a row, so we can put multiple elements on the same row. Go to my page, blah, 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 wrap with row. This is something that we do really quickly. So let's see where the button is. The button is here, elevator button. Command plus and wrap with row. Wonderful, we have a row now. You cannot see anything because it's still, oh no, you can see actually, it went all the way at the beginning. That's reasonable. When you save, you notice that actually similar to the column, by default, it lumps its children to the left. To fix this, you could use the same approach as before, but with main axis alignment. However, for didactic learning purposes, use main axis sides. This tells the row not to take all the available horizontal space. This is interesting. We could do something like main axis alignment, main axis alignment center. That's basically what we did previously, and we get the job done. But for didactical purposes, we will use main axis sides. Let's see. main axis size minimum. Let's add it. Let's get rid of that. Main axis size minimum, and we get the same result. Why this? We have the same result because we are inside the column, and the column forces that. Next, add a like button. Toggle favorite. For a challenge, first try to do this by yourself without looking at that. Well, we are in a row that's pretty straightforward. We have a list of children, and we just copy and paste, and instead of the next button we add a favorite. How is called? The like button, and app state is, yeah, for the moment let's leave it this. Then here we add some pairing. Let's see what they do. Spoilers ahead. All right, so what do we have? It's okay if you don't do exactly the same, blah blah blah. It's too long this video, so I want to go straight to the solution so we can continue this Codelab together. Here's no way. Size block. Okay. So here's one way to add the second button. This time we use an elevated button dot icon. So this is a named constructor. Let's see, constructor to create a button with an icon. And at the top of the build method, choose the appropriate icon depending on whatever the line current word pair is already in favorites. Also note that the use of size box again to keep the two buttons a bit apart. So I didn't use a padding but the size box. That's normal. So here is the size box. Ctrl S, you see the space. And what other do we have? We have the icon. So the icon is here, and we will use it inside the elevated button dot icon. And what do we have? We have, if the icon there contains favorite, if the app state favorites contains pair, you add the favorite. Otherwise, you add the favorite border. All right, great, wonderful. This is smart. Icon. So we say icon. What's happening here? What is saying? Isn't defined. Try correcting. Okay, so this one doesn't have a child. It has a label. It has a label. So I did this with option command left or right, so to go back where you were previously. So here, that's super useful. So we said it has a label widget instead of a child. And all right, now it appears. Since like is not inside our list, we have the border. We have this border one. We didn't change the behavior for the moment, so it does the same as next. You see, go get next. We'll move it in a second. We will change it in a second. Toggle favorite, obviously. We have yet the method. Toggle favorite. Ctrl S. There it is. Like, don't like. I love it. But we can still not see the favorites. So let's add the favorite. Add the navigation rail. Alright, so most apps can't fit everything in a single screen. In this app we could do that, but for didactic purposes we're going to create a separate screen for the user favorite. To switch between the two screens, you're going to implement your first stateful widget. Wonderful. So a stateful widget is a widget with a state. A stateless is a widget without a state. That's pretty straightforward. To get the meat of this step as soon as possible, split homepage into two separate widgets. Select all the My Home page, delete it, and replace with the following code. Are you sure? You're sure. I trust in you. Select all of my home page, delete and replace. Okay, because it has a generator page. So my home page, let's come here. Ctrl V. Let's get rid of the extra comment we don't need, like this. Let's get rid of this one. This one. Ctrl S. Let's see the moment of truth. Oh, wow, wonderful. Here we are. We have the like. We have the next. Everything is working. So let's see what they say. Examine the changes. Yes. First, notice that the entire contents of my page is extracted into a new widget, generator page. The only part of the old my page widget that didn't get extracted is the scaffold. So let's see. Row, favorites. No, this is not what we were doing. My own page. Favorite. Generator page. Where is generator page? Oh, here it is. And then what do we have? We have generator page, docker favorite, so it is still using my previous stuff. Okay. Home and those are navigation rail destination, obviously. Navigation rail. The safe area ensures that the child is not obscured by hardware, like Notch. In this app, the widget wraps around the navigation rail to prevent the navigation buttons from being obscured by a mobile status bar, for example. You can change the extended to false line to true. This shows the labels. So here, you can see we have the buttons. And we can put true. And now we have also the names. The navigation rail has two destinations, home and favorites, with their respective icons and labels. It also defines the current selected index. Selected index of 0 selects the first destination. A selected index of 1 selects the second destination, and so on. For now, it's hard-coded to 0. You know, in programming, we start counting from 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. The navigation rail also defines what happens when the user selects one of the destinations with on destination selected. Right now, the app merely outputs the requested index with print. The second child of the row is the expanded widget. This one, expanded. Because we have a row, our row is safe area to avoid the notch to hide part of our app. Then we have the navigation rail that is here, and then we have the rest of our application, that is the generator page and the expanded widget. The expanded widget takes everything. Expanded are extremely useful in row and columns. They let you express layouts where some children take only as much space as they need, a safe area in this case, and others should take as much as the remaining room as possible. One way to think about expand widgets is that they are greedy, so if you want to get a better feel of the role of this widget, wrapping the save area within another expanded. The results layout should look something like this. Two expanded widgets split all the available horizontal space between themselves, even though the navigation rail only really needs a little slice on the left. Inside the expanded widget, there is a colored container, and inside the container, a generator page. A colored container, and inside the container, the generator page. Stateless versus stateful. Until now, my app state covered all the state needs. That's why all the widgets you have written so far are stateless. They don't contain a mutable state on their own. No one of the widget can change itself. They must go through the my app state. This is about to change. You need a way to hold the value of the navigation rail in selected index. You also want to be able to change this value from within on destination selected callback. You could add selected index yet as another property of my app state, and it would work. But you can imagine that the app state would quickly grow beyond reason if every widget store its value in it. So you can see a lot of stuff. Some state is only relevant in a single widget, so it should stay within a widget. Enter stateful widget, a type that has state. Enter stateful widget, a type of widget that has state. First, convert my home page to a stateful widget. Place your cursor on page, convert to stateful widget. Let's do that. So we are in my home page, that's stateless, command dot, convert to stateful, we would like to, yes. And we have the state now. This is the state. The IDE creates a class for you, my homepage state. This class extends state. It can therefore manage its own value. It also notices that the build method from the old stateless widget, it has now moved inside the new class created. It was moved verbatim, nothing inside the build method changed. Now it now merely lives somewhere else. The underscore, this is useful, at the start of my homepage state makes the class private and is enforced by the compiler. If you want to know more about privacy in Dart and other topics, read the language tour. That is something that we will not do now. Set state. Now the stateful widget only needs to track one variable, selected index. Make the following 3 changes. So selected index, we create this variable where we are, my own page state, okay, obviously. So here. Then we want to add the selected index to selected index inside the navigation rail. Navigation rail is here and it finishes here. You can see Flutter give us this stuff. It was there, selected index. Then what other do we want? To replace print with this value. On destination selected value, on destination selected, we want to set the state. So we introduced the new variable and we used inside navigation rail, and this is the most important part. When the onDestination callback is called, instead of merely printing the value into the console, it assigns to selected index inside the set state. This call is similar to the notify listener method used previously. It makes sure that UI updates. Let's see, Ctrl S. And actually we can see that the app updates. Previously it didn't do that. If we comment this part, Command Shift and slash, Ctrl S, we can see that now it doesn't update anymore. So let's bring it back to setting the state. Now we can do that. Use selected index. Place the following code at the top of my homepage state's build method just before the return scaffold. So we have a page and we have a switch. Build method. So inside the build method. Here we are. And okay, it is a placeholder here. So the code creates a new variable page, selected index, no favorite page, uses a placeholder. The placeholder is that one. Applying the fail fast principle, the switch statement also makes sure that to throw an error if the selected index is neither 0 or 1. It helps prevent bug down the line. If you ever add a new destination to the navigation rail and forget about update this code, the program crashes in development. Opposed to letting you guess why things don't work, it's letting you letting you publish a buggy code into production. So we were saying that we added the switch, and what do we have to do? Now the page contains blah blah blah. Here's after the remaining changing. This is what we did, and now the app switches between generator page and to the placeholder. Ctrl S. Let's see. No, we're missing something. We didn't add the page, obviously. Here it is. Expanded child page. Instead of generator page, we want page. Let's see. All right. Homepage, placeholder. Homepage, placeholder. This is the placeholder. Wonderful. Responsiveness, next make the navigation rail responsive to say that it automatically shows the label using extended through. Now there is not around when there is not enough room left. Flutter provides several widgets that help you make the app automatically responsible. For example, wrap is a widget similar to row and column that automatically wraps children to the next line called return. When there isn't enough vertical or horizontal space. There is the fitted box, that's a widget automatically fits inside each child into available space according to your specification. But navigation rail doesn't automatically show labels when there is enough space because it can't know what is enough space in every context. So it's up to you, the developer, to make it cool. Let's say you decide to show label in my home page at least 600 pixel wide. I really need some water, and meanwhile I would like to thanks the sponsor of this video, that is I'm joking. Right, let's add some water. Hopla. Note: Flutter works with logical pixels as a unit of length. They are also sometimes called device-independent pixels. A padding of 8 pixels is visually the same regardless of whatever the app is running on an old low-res phone or a new Retina device. There are roughly 38 logical pixels per centimeter, or about 96 logical pixels per inch, or the physical displays. That's super useful to know. The widget used in this case is Layout Builder. It lets you change your widget tree depending on how much available space you have. Once again, use Flutter refactor menu, blah blah blah. This time though, it's a little bit more complicated. Inside the method, put the cursor on the scaffold, the refactor, wrap with builder, and press enter. So we were saying here, scaffold, refactor, builder, and press enter. Modify the callback parameter from context to contents and constraints. from context to context and constraints. Layouts builder callback, new added builder to layout builder. Okay. Layout builders is called every time the constraints change. The constraints change. This happens when, for example, the user resizes the app window, the user rotates their phone, some widget next to my homepage grows in their sites, making the my homepage constraints smaller, and so on. Now your code can decide whether to show the label by querying the current constraints, making the my homepage build. So this is my homepage, layout builder, we have the scaffold, and now we have extend. We say true if constraint max width greater or equals than 600. So here it is, bang. Here it is, bang, bang, bang. Home, bang, 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 bang. Let's create a thumbnail. Let's see what happens. All right, wonderful. Now it's responsive. It's also responsive. Come on, we are almost there. Add a new page, 10 minutes remaining. Adding a new page. Remember the placeholder widget we used instead of the favorite page? Now we have to add a favorite page probably. It's time to fix this. If you feel adventurous, try to do this step by yourself. Your goal is to show the list of favorites in a new stateless widget favorites page and to show that widget instead of the placeholder. Here are some pointers, super useful. You want to use a column that scrolls, use a list view. Remember to access the myAppState, obviously, instance from any widget using the context.watch. If you also want to try a new widget, list style has properties like title, leading, on tap, or whatever. That allows using for loops inside collection layers. For example, if messages contains a list of strings, you can have the code like the following. I want to go straight forward to the end. This video is hugely long, super long. What follows is just one of the way to implement the favorite page. How it is implemented will hopefully inspire you to play along with the code. This is not my alarm. Improve UI and make it your own. Here's the favorite page class. So we copy and we put it. What they say. Here's what the widget does, blah, blah, blah. So for the moment, we are doing everything in only one file. That's, wow, that's wild. But for the moment, it makes the job done. Don't do this at home. No, it's your first app. It's normal to do that. Favorite page. It gets the current state of the app. The list of favorites is empty. It shows no favorites yet. Otherwise, it shows a scrollable list. The list starts with a summary. For example, you have 5 favorites. The code then iterates through the favorites and constructs a list style. Let's see. Favorites page, upstate, we got the state. You have no favorites yet if it is empty. Then we have a list view, and the list view, what it does, it has a pairing, blah, blah, blah. For var in pair, this is interesting. For var in pair, it creates a list style, because we are in a list view, leading and text. But for the moment, obviously, we didn't connect it yet. We still have the placeholder. Let's see if they connect us for us. You can go to the final code, next. Okay, no, wonderful, you earned a learning badge. The badge has been added to your profile. Let me see. Google Developer Program, this is my account. Build with AI, Google Developer Experts follower. Why I have some kind of these particular badges? Because as you know, probably I'm a Google Developer Group organizer for Florence. So if you are in Florence and you want to attend some events, just check out Google Developer Group Florence, GDG Community Dev, Google Developer Groups, and search for here, for example, Florence, Firenze. Here we are, Google Developer Group Firenze, GDG Florence, and press the join button. It means a lot for us and probably also for you, because you can find our events. So if you are in Florence, come to us and let's have a talk. The latest that we did are a cybersecurity event. It was really great. We had a watch party, we had a workshop, an info session, and so on. So I'm looking forward to seeing you here in Florence at one of our events. We are also on LinkedIn and also on all the other social media. Go GDG Firenze. I expect it's this one. I mistyped the LinkedIn, but it found it. Here we are, GDG Florence. Here we are, GDG Firenze. So search for GDG Firenze and follow us in LinkedIn or social media. But we didn't finish our Codelab because it is not working for the moment. Let's fix it. Probably what I missed because I went super fast is that we have to go, instead of the placeholder, we want this new wonderful favorite page. And there we have it. That's wonderful. If I like dot crash, now I have dot crash. And next. And I put everything inside. You have 5 favorites. I love this stuff. It sounds wonderful. I cannot click anything because we didn't add the on tap feature, but you can go next and you can like it. Wonderful. Congratulations, look at you! You took a non-functional scaffold with a con and 2 tags like that, and now it is complete like this. And it is actually also responsive, so that's congrats guys, congrats everybody, congrats guys and girls. No, let's be inclusive. Congrats guys, congrats everybody. I have to be inclusive. Congrats everybody. Alright, so what we've covered, we took the basic on how Flutter works, creating layout in Flutter, connecting user interaction, keeping your Flutter code organized, making your app, we put everything in one file, so I'm not sure about this point. Making your app responsive, wonderful this one. Achieving a consistent look and feel of your app. What's next? Experiment more. Anyway, everything I did, what I did, I will for sure add on my GitHub, github.com. So search for me. Let's cut. And here we are. So anyway, everything will be on my GitHub, as I was saying. GitHub, search for Mirko Raimo, that's me, this is my profile. And come here and check if here it's your tutorial, the one that you are looking for. So let's come here, Codelabs, no, write your first Flutter app. we were saying, what's next? Experiment more with the app you wrote during this Codelab and look at the code in this advanced version of the same app to see how you can add animated list, gradients, and crossfades and more. So let's see if we can do a wonderful thumbnail. We come here. I want to see if we can do a thumbnail. So we put everything on this side. So I want to show the code and the badge that we earned. So we have the code here. Then we add the app we created. It's too many stuff all in one place. But in this way, it should be, I hope so. So I should be there. This is my home page, my app. Oh, my app. I don't know how I will treat this. I will probably be like this. I'm Italian, I don't know, I should say like this. We are mocking ourselves, it's fun for us. So let's learn like this. I like it. Otherwise, we were saying like this, or like this, or like this. Right, so that's it. We view profile, we did, dismiss. I think that's all for this video. We did a lot, we covered a lot. This video is hugely long, it's really long. Let's see how it turned out. Let's see if you like it. Drop a like button, write me in the comments if you want to tell me anything, or reach me on my social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on. Obviously, subscribe to this channel because this is my development channel. I have other channels, but this is focused on development. And as you know, if you are in Florence, search for a Google Developer Group in Florence. If you are not in Florence, search for other Google Developer Groups. And if you like, you can tell them that you discovered them watching this video. It would be funny if someone reaches me with a message with, hey, we are from, I don't know, another city, and they discovered us thanks to your video. It would be super fun. So that's it, and see you in the next video. Bye!